What's up, everybody? Welcome back to From the Shelves. I'm Jamie, and today we're going to be looking at my top 10 NECA Aliens yet. Now, if you like any of the figures in this video, or stuff like it, make sure to check out Big Bad Toy Store. They got everything you guys could need. I'll put the link in the description below. Now, similar to my top 10 Predator video, this list is going to be a culmination of nostalgia, rarity, articulation, and paint. So without further ado, let's check them out. Coming in at number 10 is the Alien Warrior from Series 2. Now this Warrior is the pretty much standard of what NECA uses for their alien sculpts. It is your basic design. We've seen it through this, the brown alien, which we have here, which is literally an exact reuse of this, just a different paint scheme, to the genocide figures, to albino, to even other ones. It's a nice solid black with a heavy blue wash through all the figure itself. It actually comes with a back port. Mine is gone, but it does remove. We get nice articulation range. We get a ball joint here at the hip, single peg at the knee. I had to super glue that, so we get some rotation here at the ankle itself. The toes pivot, a nice bendy wire, a single peg at the elbow, full rotation and ball joint at the wrist, and a bicep swivel as well as a ball peg at the shoulder. We do get a little bit of articulation at the head as well. Without this spine in it, it does get a little bit more range of movement, but usually the spine will be in there. Now, it is a great design. What we see is we get the ridged back skull with ports and caresses all through the top of this. You can see the blue wash accents a lot of the details and makes these ridges and stuff pop. We get our classic bio hoses in the back. This one has 4. We get some more spining into the back as well, and a pretty big size abdomen, or torso up on this figure. Now this comes at number 10 because it is the standard to all of the aliens we're used to seeing. If you're an alien collector from NECA, I'm sure you have this design in your arsenal. So a very welcome addition to number 10. Coming in at number 9 is the alien from the Alien Predator 2-pack, predating any of the series that NECA has released. And in my opinion, this is the most, accurate representation of the big chap we have seen since the movie Alien itself. Now, articulation is very limited. Like I said, prior to any of the heavy-duty ball joints, we get swivels at the hip as opposed to ball joints. We get rotation at his thigh, a single peg at the knee, no rotation at the ankle besides going up and down. We get a nice bendy wire as well. We do get ball joints at his shoulders, single peg at the elbow, and just rotation at his wrist. A little bit of movement at the head, and a nice, torso crunch up here. Now, this does not remove. This is all sculpted in to the alien itself. It's a very basic, very standard use of this alien. You can see up in here, we have some missed spots on mine. But as opposed to the big chap we've seen in the NECA line, that for me, the dome on that thing, is a little bright for my liking. This looks more accurate to what we did see in the movie. It's a little bit of a taller build than the other aliens, especially down in his hips. This is an extended hip that we haven't seen or since this on any other figure. It's a nice, just a black body with some brown dry brushing accented all through this. What really stands out for me on this figure is it's kind of rare, and the dome. The dome is the perfect match for me of that dim brown gray and translucent-esque color to it. You get a little bit of resemblance of the skull in here, as well as the bone and shading in here. So a very nice welcome addition to number 9. Coming in at number 8 is the Dog Alien from Series 3. Now, yes, I know these have been reissued in Series 8 with the brown and also gray variant, but this is the one from Series 3, also known as the Runner Alien. Now, this guy has fantastic articulation. As you can see right from the get-go, he can go in a very tight package. as well as a very extended package. He will go completely out of frame if we want to. Articulation-wise, we get tons of movement at his head, tons of movement at his torso, a ball joint at his shoulder, double pegs at his elbow, full rotation and a ball peg at his wrist, ball joints at his hip, double peg at his knee, single peg at his lower knee like the dog area, and full rotation at his foot itself. Now his tail is massive and it comes in a very, very nice bendy wire. This can also pose any real way you really want to. The coloring on this, I love this gray, or brown, I'm sorry, on this version, the Series 3. The Series 8 brown is a little too dark for my liking, but it does come in that gray variant if you're looking for something different. But it's got great brown washes and dry brushing all over him. As you can see in the back, we get the nice molded shoulder blades into there, reminiscent of a dog. We don't get any bioports on him whatsoever. Very, very tight package. I love the skull, very translucent. You can see all those nice ridges, as well as some more dry brushing and brown wash hidden in there. That black paint throughout the middle of those really makes this head pop, and I love the black shading in here. You don't really get to quite see the skulls and eyes. Mouth, his teeth are kind of small. We get a pull-out inner mouth as well, and a great, great addition to number 8. Coming in at number 7 is the Grid Alien from the Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack when he's paired up with the Celtic Predator. Now, yes, they have released the Grid Alien in the AVP line and series, but this one is a little bit different actually. This one has a translucent dome, the tail is cut off, and the paint is just a tad bit darker. I chose this one because it is more movie accurate when we see him in the battle scene, as well as the skull. You can see the skull is much more translucent than we're used to. The paint is a nice, has a little bit of a deeper wash or heavier wash to it as opposed to the older figure. Now this is, in my opinion, the most well sculpted of the aliens from the NECA series. Not to say they're my favorite, but they're just a great, great design and take. Very, very heavy articulated as well, similar to what we saw in the dog alien. We get a ball joint at the shoulder, double peg at the elbow, full rotation at the wrist. We get even articulation at his fingers. Torso, not so much this time. Hindered a little bit. We get more ball joints down here at his waist. Double peg at the knee. This one doesn't want to bend. More rotation at his ankle. Movement at his toe. And a nice heavy bendy wire. And as you can see on this tail, he is actually cut off, but it comes in this nice little piece that has that allows Celtic Predator to hold this during their fight. And this time we actually get the bio hoses. We don't get a back spine through there because in the AVP movie they didn't have those. You just had super long bio hoses or bio ports that extended through the back. Now we get a open mouth here. This guy, the inner mouth does come out. It's a little tight for me. I can't quite pinch it, but just be known that it does come out. A great figure. I love Grid. I know Grid is a lot of people's favorites and a very, very welcome addition to number 7. Coming in at number 6 is the Isolation Alien from Series 6. Now this is almost an exact reuse of the big chap alien we saw in, I think, Series 2, but we get different feet. I love the take on these feet. Propped up, makes it look more insect looking. We get a nice bendy tail. The exact top torso is exactly the same as we saw with previous aliens from Series 2. The Warrior had this exact body, and here's that ridge I was talking about earlier that does remove. It gives you a little bit more range of motion, but in this we actually get a totally like a milky white translucent skull that is the exact same on Big Chap as well. We get a nice black body with a heavy, heavy accents of brown dry brushing and washes all through this. I love the feet. That's why this one made the list, because like I said, it gives it more of that hive or insect look. We get double pegs at the knee. A little bit of rotation at his secondary knee, I guess. Mine's a little stiff. Don't want to rotate too much. We get a little bit of a ball joint right here. Single peg at his elbow. Full rotation at his wrist. A little bit of movement at the head. Mouth opens up very, very far, as you can see, and we get an extendable mouth. That one's not going to want to come out for me either. Oh, there it goes. And we can see some more bio hoses right through the top of his neck. This is, like I said, an exact body reuse of the big chap and of the Warrior Aliens we saw previously and earlier in this video, but a great, great addition to number 6. Coming in at number 5 is the Gorilla Alien from Series 10 in the Kenner-inspired wave. I recently reviewed this, so I won't go into heavy detail, but this thing is an absolutely beautiful figure and a great, great recreation of the classic Kenner figure. Now, we get the black dome, as you can see right here. This does remove, and we get a full look at the skulls inside. This is the only Predator figure, Alien figure to do this to date. We also get a translucent skull similar to this. We can put it over top, so you can have it black, translucent, or have it off. Now the body, yet again, these torso is very, very exact reuse of the original ones we've seen. We've been over a couple times already, but instead we get a back sculpt on it. Pretty much a new attachment they ran right on there with some beautiful sculpting all through there. We get 2 single bio ports, some heavy shoulder blade sculpting, a heavy dose of a blue wash similar to the Alien Warrior, but a tad bit brighter. Also similar to what we see on the Queen. The mouth is fantastic. You can see his gums, very, very reminiscent of a gorilla. The head itself is very, very large. I love this design. It's a brand new sculpt they took for this. It hasn't been reused yet. And we get some accents of all those biopiping and wires up in here as well. Great sculpt. They took their time. It highlights a lot of accents through these ridges. I love the back as well. Now, for forearms as well, this is brand new. We get almost a Batman-like gauntlet blades here, but they're actually bio ports. Heavy-duty forearms. His knuckles protrude down, so he can almost rest on them when you want to pose him. His tail is also a nice bendy wire, similar to what we saw, but with the addition of this 3-prong claw, I guess, for scraping or clawing. The legs as well, same exact thing that we saw for the Series 2 Alien. Nothing new there. And the neck is a brand new sculpt as well. Gives it some serious bulk and some serious size to it. That's not a bad thing either. I love that this thing is kind of overbearing and looks just really, really menacing. A great, great addition to number 5. Coming in at number 4 is the AVP Warrior. Prior to any series, prior to even Series 1, the classic Blue Warrior, we get the AVP Warrior. He was in the lineup with the Wolf Predator and the Pred Alien. He is probably my favorite alien out of all that I own, just because the single fact of his head sculpt. This is reminiscent of what we saw in early series, Series 1 and 2, but it is actually different. We don't get a narrow edge on the head. The ridges are a little bit lighter in this. We get more of a phallic design at the back of the head with some of those butt cheek looking things in the back of it. The bioports are what we saw on the AVP, not AVPR, AVP Alien, but they were actually reuses from this figure. Now the teeth would stand out very cat-like. I haven't seen this teeth design on any other alien yet. Articulation is a little limited. We get just a swivel up here at his bicep right here, and we get a swivel at the elbow. Single peg at the elbow. Little bit of rotation at his wrist. Fingers don't move. Kind of rotates at his hip. Mine's a little loose. We get a swivel at the thigh, single peg at the knee, and up and down movement at his ankle. Also, a little bit of rotation at his torso and his head. That's a good bit. But a very, very welcome addition to number 3. Also, I want to point out, this guy is probably one of the rarer predators to find, aliens to find on this list. I wouldn't say he's as rare as the Pred Alien, but he's getting up there in price. But NECA does plan to re-release him here in the next coming couple months, so if you don't have him, you can hop on it then. Coming in at number 3 is the Mantis Alien from Series 10. It is the part of the Kenner Inspired wave, and man, I was blown away by the release of this figure. I absolutely love the Mantis Alien Kenner figure as a kid, and NECA did a fantastic job recreating this. You can see most of this, if not all of it, is a brand new sculpt, with the exception of, yet again, that damn torso. It keeps popping up. It is NECA's absolute go-to, as well as their thighs and biceps. But brand new shoulders. The head is a brand new head sculpt as well. Great ridges all through this. Some black spotting. A nice heavy coat of silver dry brushing all throughout this thing. The sculpt is beautiful. I love the backing too. It comes all the way back on these nice ridges. The tail is very mantis-esque, I guess. Stinger, it's very sharp, actually. You can see this thing could break skin if you want to push it hard enough. But that's a great design too, with these ridges on the outside. I did do a review of this, so I won't go into a lot of detail. We get these nice pincers that are molded in silver with a nice gray or black wash on them as well. Brand new feet, reminiscent of almost, I guess, a bug or a bird. Love the design, kind of T-Rex-esque. More hints of silver all through that. And we get some copper tones through his biopiping and on his teeth. His mouth does extend. We get his inner mouth that does come out as well. Articulation on this guy is very nice. Ball joint at the shoulder. Double peg at the elbow. We get another peg at the secondary elbow. Movement up here to his pincer. And his pincer claws do rotate and go up and down as well. Let me get down to his torso. A little bit of rotation there. Another ball joint at his hip. Double pegs at his knee. Another peg down here by his ankle, and rotation at his ankle itself. This guy can pack into a really nice tight package. Or, like the dog, he can go really high and totally out of frame. I love this guy. I love the color green they used. He's a great figure and easily some of my top aliens, and a very welcome addition to number 3. Coming in at number 2 is the Pred Alien himself. Sorry if the lighting is getting a little different. My lights are starting to die, guys. But this guy is an absolute beast. I love him. I'm lucky to have him. He is the rarest on this list. I've seen him going right now upwards of around $200 to $250. He has a great paint tone to him, almost a green or brown hues all throughout him, with some yellow or tan markings, some black spotting all through his chest and his legs. We get his dreads that are almost reminiscent of a face hugger tails, I guess, through the back of these. His head shape is fantastic as well. He looks almost spot on from the movie. We get some nice ridges and cresses through the back, as well as under him as well. We get his translucent dome, as you can see, right through into his eyes. He does kind of have a monkey face right here. You can see it almost looks like an orangutan. This is actually the open mouth variant. There is a closed mouth version to this. Articulation is extremely limited with this guy. We kind of get him, he's kind of posed into this crippled look in a way. We get rotation at his shoulder. We get some bicep swivel, a little bit of swivel right here. Swivels at his hip, more of a swivel everywhere on this guy. No movement at his ankles, and a little bit of rotation at his head. We get some awesome bioports, are very different than what we've seen. Very bulky and big. I love this. You guys are great color. The bendy wire on this is not the best. It's actually pretty bad, to tell you the truth. But like I said, NECA plans to be re-releasing the AVP R line in the very near future. So if you missed out on this guy, not to worry. Just wait a little while, guys, and he will be able to be in your possession in a very soon. But he is still one of my favorites. I'm one of the few people that actually love AVPR. I'm not a huge fan of AVP, but AVPR, it's awesome. It's everything I want it to be. It's violent. It's gruesome. The monsters are cool. I'm getting ahead of myself and rambling, but a very, very welcome addition to number 2. And our honorable mentions is the Power Loader. Yes, I know this is not an alien, but this thing is so damn cool. I had to try and include it on this list. This is the Series 5 Ellen, if I'm not mistaken, Ripley. When you get the Power Loader, it does come with new hands to plug onto her, so you can put her in there. They did such an awesome, awesome job with the Power Loader. I absolutely love this thing. The articulation and everything is great to the color scheme. I'm not going to go too far into it, but if you guys have a Power Loader, you know what I'm talking about, and it is a very, very, very sweet addition to the Aliens line. Also, I want to throw out there this cool thermal vision Toys R Us exclusive Alien Warrior. This isn't the grid, this is the classic Warrior, but a sweet, sweet glow-in-the-dark take on this thing. Looks fantastic in your shelf at night with your Alien collection. Coming in at number 1 is the Queen Alien. Yes, what else would it have been? This thing is absolutely amazing. My lights are dying quick, so I need to kind of run through this. But she is a little dusty, as you can see. She's been on my shelf for a long, long time. But from the paint to the articulation and the sheer size of this thing, as you guys can see all the way through the back. From the tail being very, very adjustable bendy wire, to the skull mount actually moving forward and covering her head, to a removable mouth. Actually, I think I super glued mine in. But a great, great addition to number 1. I absolutely love this figure. The sheer size, she articulates very, very well. We get movement at ball joints at her hip. All from pegs down here to her legs, even to her toes, she articulates. Not going to go into it too depth. It's kind of hard to handle in this tight little space, but we get some rotation of her, I guess whatever you want to call it, flaps or sensors up here. Great spining. A nice midnight blue with some gold tones colored all throughout her on her spine. A heavy black wash is thrown on it. Nice translucent teeth. We get her big arms, which also articulate very, very well, and then you get her little baby arms right in the front, kind of like T-Rex arms. But a great addition. I know she's getting rare. NECA has re-released these twice, and I don't think they actually have plans to re-release her again. But if you guys can't get this one, try hopping on the Genocide Alien. It's got a little bit of a different head, and a red body. But besides that, it's not that much different. I was debating on whether Genocide would make it or her, but you gotta love just the classic take on the Alien. And remember, guys, this list is my opinion and my opinion only. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button and tell me, guys. So, yet again, if you like what you guys saw, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. I love talking to you guys. And remember, keep on collecting.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh?